It's time for NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. Join your host, the accomplished Dr. Cherilyn Lee, as she welcomes the leading experts in health and well-being as they explore the advancements in natural health, physical fitness, nutrition, integrative medicine, and self-discovery.
Welcome, everyone, to another wonderful day, another blessed day that we're here to actually see and hear each other. Isn't that amazing? That in itself is just amazing, that we can hear and see each other another day. Absolutely. You know, so I want to say that I'm so happy for my wonderful guest here today, and my guest today is just amazing. Melissa Hall is an amazing person. If you received your e-blast, you can read her bio. You'll be able to go to her website. We have so much wonderful information. We're not going to spend a lot of time going over her bio in depth. We're going to get right down to business. How to. But we're excited. You hear all those excited people? We're excited. Okay. On how to serve your way to success. Isn't that amazing? Melissa, thank you. Miss Melissa.
Thank you
here
so much
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Thank
it is
you.
always a pleasure just to be with you and hang out and just have these great conversations. And I'm really glad that we're able to share that with your audience today.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, when I called you and said, you know, what title would you like? And we collaborated on the title. And so, how to serve your way to success. Now, why did you think that was? Because of who you are. We're going to talk about, you know,
Right.
how you got to where you are, but serving your way to success. And you know my journey, and I'm not going through mine today, but you're going to talk about how did you do that? You know?
You know, my story begins with a tragedy. I was a mother of two little boys, a 4-year-old and a 3.5-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a very hardworking husband who was a dentist and, you know, building his practice. And so he traveled a lot to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I found myself at home quite a lot, feeling a little overwhelmed, as mothers sometimes do when they have two very active little ones at home.
Oh, yes.
And one morning, it was about 5 o'clock, maybe a little before 5 o'clock in the morning, my oldest son, Drew, woke up and he said, Mom, the sun's coming up, which was the rule. He couldn't get out of bed until the sun came up.
Okay.
So he's letting me know the sun came up. And I said, okay. So I got up with him and I took him into the kitchen. I got him his favorite breakfast and gave him crayons. And I went back to check on my younger son, who was an asthmatic. And I'd been up doing breathing treatments the entire night before. And I was exhausted. But I needed my younger son to sleep. He was exhausted himself.
Yes.
So I laid down beside him and I patted his back. And the next thing I realized, I woke up and instantly I knew that something was wrong. The house was silent, and Drew was a loud child. You could, hear him a mile away. I just instinctively knew that something was amiss, and so I began looking for him in the house.
Right.
And it took me a little while to figure out that he had let himself outside. And I went outside looking for him, and I had a lot of dogs, and my dogs were kind of frantic. And I'm like, okay, I thought they were just kind of responding to me because I was yelling, screaming for my son. Where are you, Drew? Stop hiding. This isn't funny. Come out and talk to me. And I noticed that they were wet. And I thought, this is very strange. I don't have a swimming pool. There's no water and then it dawned on me. There was a very large irrigation canal near our home. And I looked in that direction and I saw my son's footprints leading that way.
Oh, my.
And I ran as fast as I could to that canal. And I could see where the ground had kind of broken away at the top. And I knew instantly that he had fallen in. And it was devastating because I just knew. I knew that there was something very wrong. If he wasn't already gone, that I needed to find him quickly. And it was about 7 to 8 hours later that they did find him, and I did lose my little boy that morning. And I was lost in despair for several years, struggling to forgive myself, struggling to want to survive this. And a woman wrote a letter to me that came at really a life-saving and life-changing moment. I was in the house by myself. It was the first time that my son, Devin, was going to be spending some time with his dad overnight. My marriage suffered. We ended up separating at the time. And I was really alone and lost and completely despondent. And I didn't know what to do. The only thing that made sense was to stop hurting. And the only way I could think to do that was to end my life. So I got everything I would need, the pen, the paper, to leave my son a note and apologize and tell him I was sorry. The pills, and I sat down at this table and was ready to end my life. And then it was about that time that I noticed a letter on the table, unopened. So I opened this letter. It was from a mother. Her name is Teresa. Mm-hmm. She had lost her 6-year-old daughter to being hit by a car while riding her bike. And she said something truly remarkable to me. She said that despite this tragedy, that you can live your best life ever. But you will have to choose to find joy and choose to find happiness. And it will be there for you if you choose. It changed my thinking. It gave me hope. And it took time. And I had to work hard.
Yes.
But I did arrive there. And so I believe that serving our way to success are found in those moments where we reach out to others and we help to support them in their time of need, or to support them as they're rising.
Yes.
To be those cheerleaders in their lives. And it's something that I believe in so strongly. I wrote a book about my experience. I began publicly speaking about my experience. And now I also have a television show called The Ripple Effect, where I highlight amazing men and women doing extraordinary things to impact the lives of others.
And that's so powerful. And your story, and my condolence. I know you went through a lot there to have lost a child.
Yes, it's losing a child. It's you never want anybody to know what that experience is like.
Right.
And for the parents that have lost children, there are really no words.
No.
It's a void that you can't imagine. It is unthinkable, and yet it becomes your reality.
Right.
And you change as a result, and the world changes, like your circle of influence, your friends, your family.
Oh, certainly. They certainly do.
Yeah, they oftentimes kind of struggle to know how to be around you. They're fearful of saying something that might upset you.
Yes.
And what I would like to do is encourage people. The way to serve somebody who is grieving is to be there, to not be silent.
Be present.
To be present.
Be present.
To offer, any gesture of kindness. Sometimes my days would hinge on just making eye contact with another person, and they would smile at me. That smile was the fuel that I needed to get through that afternoon, or just to finish shopping in the grocery store, because I would see mothers with their children and it would pierce my heart. So I relied on these strangers to connect with me. And I see that as a way of serving. When you're willing to extend yourself just to make that connection, whether it be verbal, nonverbal, it doesn't really matter. What's most important is that you have the intention to offer something good to another person, to support them,
and
uplift them.
It's authentic.
Yes, and it comes from a genuine place. Absolutely.
It has to.
It does. Otherwise, people can tell. It's interesting. I hear that word thrown around a lot these days, authentic, and genuine. And I think to myself, just be.
Just be.
Just be.
Just be.
Just let it be.
And that's what my show is all about, because I don't write a script, and I can have a person give me questions or whatever, but what I like is coming from the heart.
I agree.
Coming from the heart. And when you do that, people can feel that, because there's so many people who have lost, and I just had a loss in my family that really, really saddened me, and I'm still kind of going through it a little bit, but I'm working through it. I think the most painful part of it was losing a wonderful, loving aunt, but the most painful part of it was some things that happen within the family structure itself.
Yeah.
And so you have to grow through that. And the more I would try to deal with it and not even telling people, so many people were going through a lot of the same things. So, having that support, and sometimes the support doesn't come from immediate family. I know you have been extremely supportive. You just don't know. And I really thank you. So sometimes it's not immediate family, a blood family, that you have that type of support. It's just like you said, it's just that smile, someone to listen to you as you go through this journey, because it was a really shocking moment for me.
Yeah.
So it brought back so many other memories, other things that people just don't know. Nobody knows your journey but you.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And you never really know what's going on in the lives or even the heart of another person.
Exactly.
And I'm fortunate enough to have been blessed with this ability to kind of sense people, to, understand their energy and just really be able to connect with them energetically, if you will. That kind of helps guide me to know how to be present for another person.
And that's what I do. And
I know that's exactly what you do.
And, because, that same week, which is so many things happening around other people's lives. And you look at the fact, I'm not alone in this, and then to be there to support others through their journey too. And I'm sure there's a listener right now who has had the experience that you have had, and you have just helped them. You have just,
that is my hope. That is,
and that's my prayer.
Yeah, mine as well.
That's my
mine
prayer.
As well.
And that's my prayer. And that's why I do this show, to be able to be a blessing to others.
I think the world needs blessings. I think the world needs people that are willing to be vulnerable. And it is a very vulnerable thing to share that experience and share the fact that I fell asleep and I felt responsible. And yes, I even was blamed by family.
I was going to ask you that, because people are really quick to blame. I know I was blamed for something, and that's why things happened the way they did recently. But and not knowing, they're not knowing the whole story.
Exactly.
But as long as you come to grips with you,
right,
and love yourself unconditionally.
Absolutely.
Love yourself.
And I think one of the things that I would say to mothers especially is that we have to be more supportive of each other.
Yes, we do.
Oftentimes we can be critical, like, oh, I can't believe you feed your kid this, or you let them do this, or they have Facebook, or I want to say there is more accomplished with compliments and encouragement than criticism will ever do.
Most definitely.
And I understand that there are times when people need to maybe have someone say, hey, did you think about this? Have you considered? But I think it should be a thoughtful kind of questioning rather than a kind of a statement about their parent, them as a parent. And, and I did. I suffered greatly with the words, if you will, that came, the questions that came, how could you let this happen? What were you thinking? And I wanted to in my heart, I wanted to say, how can you ask me this? This was my son. I love him.
Exactly.
I would never. I was human, and I fell asleep after 2 days of being up with a very sick little boy, trying to keep him out of the hospital. And to this day, I am blessed by this experience, and people don't understand what I mean by that. I'm blessed because it's given me the awareness and the empathy to understand people's humanness.
Yes.
We are not perfect.
No, we're not.
None of us are. We will make mistakes as parents, as individuals.
Yes.
And it's not so much about the mistake, it's about the growth.
Yes.
And I could have become a very bitter, very victim, stayed in this victim kind of mentality. But that letter gave me hope, and I wanted to be victorious. I wanted to live and reclaim my life in a significant and powerful way. And that's why I wrote the book, Lessons from Neverland. That's why I began to step on stage. And I am kind of an introvert. I know people don't know that.
No, I would believe that.
It's really kind of true. But to step on stage, I've never really been nervous. It's been more of an excitement because I'm just there to share my story, knowing that what Teresa shared with me, which was just her story, her truth, changed my life, changed the outcome of that evening. And I am so eternally grateful. I have no idea who she is. I have never spoken to her. I lost the letter.
One day she's going to surface.
One day, I hope
and
she
give
does.
you a hug. And give you a hug.
I really welcome that day. I welcome that day for sure.
I feel that's going to happen.
But that is what I mean by serving our way to success. I think we can do it in business as well.
Yes.
I think we can do things consciously to help another organization or foundation or nonprofit.
Yes.
And encourage our customers to contribute. You see that with, Tom's Shoes, even Steven the Sandwich Shop. There are a lot of conscious wealth creators.
Yes.
And that's what I'm about. I want people to understand it can be seemingly insignificant to you, but it can make such a difference in the life of another person.
And you never know. Sometimes I'm around people and you say, you start talking to them.
Yeah.
And you wonder, why am I telling them that? And then they'll call you back later and say, you just didn't know what I was going through. And what you said was so edifying.
Yeah.
Or when people are on my mind, and a lot of people are, and it isn't like I could pick up the phone all the time and call them.
Right.
But just surround them with a bright, healing light. Surround them with prayers. Surround them, see angels around them, supporting them. Because I don't know what's going on with them at that moment that they're on my mind. And that happens with a lot of people. And sometimes I'll call them later and say, what was going on with you, such and such day around such and such time? Because you came to mind. And I do this with a lot of people, especially my patients. Because I wake up sometime at 3 a.m. and I just send out prayers to all of them. And actually, because I do that, I go back to sleep and I feel so good. It's like I slept 8 hours.
That's amazing.
Because I wake up with this whole attitude of gratitude and not waking up with a gratitude type of, but not with an attitude with stuff. Because people, oh God. Somebody I know very well said, how do you wake up every morning so happy? And you just sound, my mother was very happy when she woke up too. And,
that's wonderful.
And I used to look at her and I said, why is she waking up so happy all the time? But then after you go through life, that's why I said at the beginning of the show, if you can hear this show or watch the show, you're blessed.
Right.
I don't care where you are. You're blessed because that means you're still alive.
Yes.
Yeah, you're still alive.
Yes.
So, which is a blessing, and everything from there, there's things we can do about it.
Absolutely.
You can make changes. So you have the right to make a change. You have the right to be happy. You have a God-given right to be happy.
We do, but we have to choose it.
We have to choose it.
It all hinges on those choices that we make, because happiness, as you know, it becomes like the daily habits, the things that you do to bring joy into your life. But you have to do it. You have to have great relationships and care for them and invest in them and invest in the people around you. Support them, and I promise joy will come. Happiness will follow.
Yes, it will.
But it's a discipline, if you will. And I'm not perfect. There are days where I'm like, woe is me. The sky is falling and it's all going to, end badly. And then I remember, okay, that's my fear speaking. That's not my faith. And when I transition back into that centered place, that place of quiet intuition, where I truly believe that's where our soul can be heard, there's nothing that I can't find gratitude for, even losing my son. Because today I am here, I'm helping to save the lives of other little boys and girls by talking about water safety, by giving them resources, by answering questions, and sometimes just by simply being with another person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is so powerful. And there's so many stories, but there's kind of one that come to mind about a situation with, and actually it was part of a movie, which was a true story. And people wondered, and I said, I had a patient that was blind. And I know we're talking about children too, but and after he told me that his journey and what happened to him, and he lost his eyesight as a child, when he actually saw his father in a casket. And they used to keep the bodies at home down south. I didn't know that. In the living room. And he was the one, thought when his father came back to town, because he was gone, telling the mom, oh, he's back. And he was happy. And then something happened and he was no longer with us. And from there, he had to walk past this casket back and forth to the point it's like, I never want to see that again. Oh, there's power in words.
There is power.
I never want to see that again. And he went blind.
Wow.
Then when I was watching the movie of Ray Charles and what happened with his little brother, you know, he went blind after. Oh, yes, we have medical conditions that can cause a child to go blind. But he didn't want to see that pain anymore. He didn't want to see. And it actually kind of showed it in the movie. And I said, amazing how when we see things, if we don't handle it properly, how it's going to affect our health.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I will say this. During that time that I was lost, kind of really suffering, I didn't have the ability to understand that suffering was optional, you know, and it started with the things I was telling myself, you know, you're a horrible mother. How could you do this? You know, how could I fall asleep? All of those negative things were definitely impacting my life. My adrenal gland kind of quit working.
Yeah.
I had thyroid issues. I lost hair. My body was
breaking down.
Definitely listening to what I was saying and responding. I can honestly say, if you were to go back and look at pictures, I look younger today than I did when this happened.
Yes.
In the years.
And your
between.
hair is so healthy. My goodness.
It is one of those blessings where I truly know. I don't just have to think. I know that happiness changes you cellularly. It rejuvenates your body. It gives you youth and vitality.
Yes.
And so there are additional benefits to
so the emotional component
absolutely
will affect the body, and what you're doing right now is just amazing. And I know there's so many people listening who have lost loved ones and children, because we're talking about children, and is still blaming themselves. So my prayer is that you learn from Melissa Hall and what she had to go through, because I have never had that type of experience, and maybe they'll have a chance to come out to one of your workshops and
I would love that.
Purchase your book. And you know, people who are listening to the show, you know, share this with your friends. Enough people want to hear her speak, or you know, come in contact with her and kind of go through some things. Maybe on a one-on-one, they have a chance to reach you, and they can order your book and read the book as well. Sometimes you just need to hear a voice.
I agree.
To say it's going to be okay.
Yes.
It's going to be okay.
And there's an opportunity that's coming up in the month of October, an event called ServX, SERVE.
Yes. Yes.
It's an event that's being promoted by Manny Lopez. I will be a speaker. You will be a speaker.
As of yesterday, I was brought on board.
You will be a speaker.
Yes.
I'm so glad I was able to make that connection.
Oh, you just don't know what that did for me
this
yesterday.
Event is all about serving other people.
Yes.
It's just kind of a TEDx style. There's going to be amazing speakers there sharing their journey with the world and the people in the room and the people listening, you know, through Facebook Live and all the other wonderful social media platforms.
You know what I thought was great with him is he now has his young son, I forget his age.
Isaac,
as one of the speakers.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Isaac is a very dynamic little boy and artistic and creative, and he sees the world in this way that is refreshing, and it inspires me to believe that there is so much more hope that we need to cling to rather than fear what is to come.
Yeah.
I think the world's very divided right now. There's a lot of hate being kind of thrown around.
Yes.
And I encourage everybody to just stop leading with your hatred and start approaching with understanding and have appreciation for differing viewpoints.
Exactly.
Because they're there to help you grow as much as them. We learn from each other. we have to begin to reestablish lines of communication
Yes.
and respectful, disagreements. Because if we don't, the outcome is certain. It will be
Yes.
ugly. It will be unpleasant, and we will all suffer. And I don't know why we would want to inflict that on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to find the unifiers, those bridge
Right.
builders out in the world. I choose to be one. I know you choose to
Yes.
be one. And I believe that there are more people out there that maybe are just a little fearful of stepping forward. This is the time. Now is the time.
And to know that each and every one of us have a book inside.
Oh, we all have a story.
We all have a story. We all have a book. And I tell people, most people will say, well, I just don't have the money. I don't have the time. And all these excuses. And I say excuses because it was mine.
Oh,
So
I had the same
that's
one.
why mine is an audio book, and it's going into a written book now. So I was blessed to have a patient who had a studio, and then John Nettlesby, who has worked with so many entertainers and people, was my engineer, and he just said, you know what, I'll work with you. Don't worry about it. So, you just have to know this is what you want. And this is what really can help move you forward in life,
Great.
just to know what you want.
Right.
Sometimes it's not the money. And sometimes we think, oh, I got to have the money to do this, money to do that. Why don't you just ask for what you want? You want a new house? You don't know how those doors are going to open up. It just happened with my daughter, which was beautiful. You just don't know. I needed a trip. I needed a vacation. Doors just opened up. I didn't ask for the money for a vacation. I just said, I need a vacation. You don't know what doors. And my girlfriend just told me that I just need, she was looking for a blessing for some things, and
Mm-hmm.
she is a chef, and she's listening. So Maria, so she's working with some A-lists, doing this wonderful party, that she would have, probably never had, but she started off her day, looking and with gratitude and looking for what are the possibilities. And when she shared that with me this morning, I probably felt more overjoyed than she did. It's just amazing. But you have to want. If you don't set aside, write it down. People talk about vision boards. Write it down. What do you want? What do you want to see for yourself? How do you want to grow from this? But to make notations and really, really keep looking at it, there's so many things that would change your life.
I agree. And then I think write it down and then take the action to create it.
Mm-hmm.
Because ideas are beautiful things. That inspiration that causes us to write it all down, it needs one more thing. It needs action.
Yes, it does.
And then action with this inspiration, you can just accomplish things you never even dreamt of. I truly am living a life that I don't even know I could have dreamt of 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I was still kind of working through all of this stuff. And today,
I would have never think it was 3 years ago. Never.
Well, Drew passed away in 2000. So it has been several years, but there have been, I wish that was the only thing that I had gone through in life. But I've faced many different tragic and traumatic experiences that I put in the book, and so I won't get into too much of that here. But it's that choice. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to share my story in hopes that it would help other parents or just another person out there that was just struggling to figure out how am I going to get through it all. Yeah. And that's why I put my work out there. And it's just I'm living a life that I could only have imagined, and I'm loving every single minute of it.
I see it.
I am happy and filled with joy and just so grateful.
And I see that too, because I have never known you not to be smiling and happy, having something positive to say. And that says a lot about a person who always have positive things to say. I've been around you many different arenas.
Yeah.
I never heard you say anything negative about anyone. I never heard you say anything that was demeaning. Never. But we met through a very powerful lady too,
Yes,
Robbie Motter.
Robbie Motter.
Yes.
Is truly, she is a dynamic person.
Oh, yes, she is.
She's this vortex of like love and charity. I mean, she gives and she gives and she serves and she serves.
And for her age, this lady
she's in her 80s.
And so much energy. I know. It's just amazing.
Well, I think there again, she's happy.
Yes.
And she's useful. You would never know that she's in her 80s because she has the vitality of a person much younger.
You know, they say there's less muscles to frown than it is to smile.
You're right.
So when you're smiling and you're thinking happy and being happy, the body still is releasing wonderful hormones and endorphins that keep the body healthy. Laughter. There's somebody we know, we just mentioned a minute ago, that has told his story himself about his illness. But I don't know anybody with a PSA that high. But the reason why he's still doing well is because this man has such a strong belly laugh. I mean, when he laughs, you just want to laugh with him. Everybody laughs with him when he laughs.
Yes.
But it's a belly laugh. It's like deep. And when you go deep laughter, I mean, we should have at least 2 of those a day as a prescription. It should be like 2 a day, if not more.
Great advice.
A good
2
belly
laughs a day.
You know, one day
to keep the doctor away.
One day I turned the radio on and I kept turning. You know how you just start, switching stations, especially if you're driving. And I have books on tape and whatever if I got a long distance. But I don't know. I stopped at the station and they were laughing. So I was trying to wait to see what they were laughing about. But I kept it there for like 10 minutes.
and they
were still laughing. Then I just came back to it, like 20 minutes later, they were still laughing.
Oh, that's great.
So I said, this was just a show about laughter. Wow. And eventually I started laughing with them. It was like, what is this?
It is contagious, isn't it?
It is.
Sure is. Laughter. One of the things that I'm very proud of is in my home, we laugh. Mm-hmm. I'm not class clown funny. I'm just regular funny, according to my daughter.
Okay.
But we do laugh, and I like I thank her for pointing that out because I'm learning to lighten up. I spent so much time being kind of prim
lighten
and
up.
proper.
I've heard that one.
Yeah. Yes. And I don't mean to be serious, and I think I am a bit more reserved than most people, but I'm an observer.
Children would do that.
Yes. But my daughter picks up on that. And so she kind of makes it, she makes me a little uncomfortable. She pushes me, to go outside of my box, my comfort zone. And I thank her for it because I'm enjoying what I'm learning about myself. I'm giving up a lot of old, negative self-talk. I am enough. Dang it. And I know it now. Mm-hmm. And it's okay with me that the world may not know that yet. I'll show them. They'll figure it out.
Exactly. Well, you compliment me a lot on my dressing.
Yes, I do.
So 99% of it is because of my daughters.
Oh, wow.
They said, Mom, you walk around look like you're going to church in these big suits that don't fit. Nothing fits your body at all. You're not a big person. Why do you wear clothes and pants that don't fit your body? Then I used to wear big hats. Like the church hats, but I like them. But they said, Mom, you dress so old. So some things of mine are still missing. I wondered did they throw them away? I can't find certain things. Well, they said, go get some stretched jeans, and wear a big top with her son. But stop looking so old. I wore something one day and I thought I did a good job. They said, no.
I have a huge appreciation
but they like this
for
dress.
elegance. Mm-hmm. And you are an elegant woman. You have a poise and a gracefulness that just
Thank you.
It is the essence of you. And so the way you dress is perfect
so
for
it's
who
still
you are.
there. It's still there, but it's a little, I have some things that are a little different. I love my lace leather pants.
Awesome.
I
don't have a pair. I might want to see yours.
Maybe I'll get some
I'll
design. I love designing, so maybe I'll design some for you.
Clothes.
Yeah, only for myself because of timing. But so I love being me.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. I just be me.
I feel like I'm still learning a lot about myself, and
I am too.
Discovering me, and rediscovering me at the same time.
Right.
And it's sometimes a little daunting. It can be a little bit tough to face some of these things.
It is.
But I'm grateful for what I'm learning, and I'm even more grateful for what I can share as I learn and as I grow.
You know, we still have a little time left, but I kind of want you to kind of look into the audience,
Sure.
the eyes of the audience.
Sure.
And I want you, what you feel you want them to leave with today. And kind of take your time, because we have a little time here.
Okay.
Because it's really important, and that's what I like for people to walk away with NuWellness TV, to really walk away with something that's going to touch their soul, something that's going to help you grow, you know, and then, you know, text me and tell me your story, you know, because we all have stories. But before I say that, there is a website. It's called createspace.com, createspace.com, where you can create your own book, whether it's an ebook or an audio book or a written book. And this is done for free.
That is amazing.
They do your ISBN number.
That's a great
They do
tip.
everything. So you don't sit at home and say, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. They have book covers. They have templates. So you can go through and pick this out for yourself. So I want at least 100 people.
Okay.
100 people to have their book ready before Christmas as a gift for yourself. Before December, the end of December, before 2018, I want 100 people to text me. Excuse me.
No.
I've been around some fires. Text me the title of your book. Once you secure it, go to GoDaddy and secure that title and register, register your title. But they'll do everything for you. They don't own your book. It's your book. But go to createspace.com. And there are other websites as well. I just know that one so well. But there are others. And I want 100 people to send me they don't have to send me the title. Just let me know you're going to have it ready before 2018. That is your gift for the new year.
Yes.
And I'll come to your book signing. I don't care what state you're in. I'm going to let you know. Have your book ready and I will come. Do it for yourself.
Absolutely.
Now, I want you to.
Okay.
Thank you.
If I could say to you today the following things. Give yourself permission to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It is a great strength. And I have found that in the moments where I have been willing to open myself up and even be fearful of what might be, the judgment that might come as a result of it, I have been so pleasantly surprised, and I have been blessed beyond belief for the good it has done in another person's life. That's why I truly know and believe that we can serve in meaningful ways to make a meaningful impact in the lives of other people. And you are blessed. It is this beautiful synergy that's created where as you are blessing the lives of others, your life is being blessed as well. And be willing to take the action to dare to live that thought that you have of the life that you want. It is there waiting for you to take the action to achieve it. But you have to make choices. And sometimes choices do mean giving up relationships that are not healthy. Sometimes it's about facing internal monologues, kind of the sickness of the mind, if you will, and saying enough. I am enough, and I've had enough of listening to this ugly, repetitive voice that isn't true. It's not true. When you can quiet yourself and really tap into that space of your own intuition, that is where inspiration will come from. Your soul is waiting for you to listen. It will guide you in the most meaningful ways, and you can trust it. You don't have to doubt this. This is a place, this voice is sure. It's your truth. It is about bringing forth that truth through you and out into the world. So be fearless. Live your life. Share your story, because you never know what your story will do in the life of another person. You just might save a life, like Teresa did that day with me. And hopefully I am blessing you today with this message. I would be so blessed if you would contact me. You can find me at melissahall.com, on Facebook and Instagram and all the other social media platforms, LinkedIn alike. Come out to the Servce event October 10th and 11th. We'll put a link up, I'm sure.
Yes.
Of where you can buy your tickets. And the proceeds are
Manny's going to come on the show right
that's
before.
Wonderful. Manny's coming? Oh, great. Manny will do an even better job of telling him about it. But the money, the proceeds are going to benefit orphans that are in the foster care system. And that is a group of young men and women that so desperately need our attention. They need our love and our support. And this is a way that you can serve your way to success.
Yes. So I am thrilled that I'm going to be part of this wonderful event.
As am I. It really is going to be a wonderful experience.
Because it's and the fundraiser that they're doing, they're doing something even now to bridge the gap and bring together children who have been split up in the foster care system and take them all to Disneyland.
Yeah,
but
they're reuniting their siblings that were
isn't that amazing? To reunite and plus in a fun place.
Yeah, it touches my heart. Can you imagine how much love is going to be kind of present there that day? How the Magic Kingdom really will be
that's
magical.
Where your major TV stations should be.
I agree.
That's where they should be, seeing all of this positive.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Positiveness that's happening.
Absolutely.
They really should be there.
Yeah. And I think, we have to want to fill our minds with positive messages, because it's so easy to get kind of, sucked into this negative environment. But there is a lot of beauty in the world.
That's a lot.
There are so many wonderful people.
But if you're looking for ugliness, if you're
You'll
looking for negative,
absolutely,
it's gonna attract to you like a magnet.
Oh, absolutely.
And great things, just the opposite. The phone calls that I received yesterday and the doors that are beginning to open up on a daily basis. That's why I'm here at UVM. That's why I have Jarvis as a wonderful producer. So we're sitting here talking in real time. He's working his magic.
I know.
There.
He's over there clicking away.
Yes, he is. So I'm just grateful that, God has put in my path wonderful people.
Absolutely.
When I came here to meet with Tony, it all started there. Someone introduced me to Tony, and matter of fact, I was on the phone with her driving in today. And she said, and then I met someone else, and it's just been wonderful. But what did I say I wanted to do? I mean, I've been doing radio on one of our, a station, Interlight Radio, for years. I have a lot of shows, radio shows on Interlight. It was just wonderful. So the thing is, now I'm here and I'm doing television. I like radio because I was afraid.
Yeah, I understand.
I didn't want anyone to see me.
Understand
and
that.
then I didn't want, you didn't have to see me because you could just hear me, which was wonderful. And then when I came here, I really stepped out of my comfort zone. I said, now people are going to see me. They're going to judge me and this and this and that. And oh my goodness, you have this inner chatter that can destroy you. Then I said, enough is enough. Yeah. I love me enough. I accept me as I am. I'm stepping out.
Great advice.
Yeah.
I concur. Yeah.
Thank you.
I totally agree.
So I just want to say thank you, everyone, for listening. And it's a pleasure. It's always great to have such wonderful people like yourself in my life, and so many more. It's just my heart is just full.
Mine is too. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here and to share my story with your audience. And I look forward to the future collaborations and the future projects and just working together to really help people live to their fullest potential and create the lives that they ultimately want for themselves.
Exactly. Yeah. And we can do that. So, and we listen to so many people who've been on different TV shows and say where they started, where they are. They're no different. Same thing can happen to you. And at any age, I used to think, I'm too old to do this. I'm too old to do that. No. So I want everyone now to repeat after me. You know how I end my show. Well, I'm going to go into it, and then we're going to talk about it. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
I am so grateful that I am a magnet for miracles. Now, let's talk about the great I am. I want you to share that.
Oh, the great I am. I am is the divine within. I am is that internal peace, that quiet assurance that all will be well, that you can be more.
Yes.
You just have to accept that you are enough.
Yes.
Begin there. Love who you are, warts and all, mistakes and all. Don't judge it. Learn from it, grow from it, and then impart your wisdom to others so that they might benefit from your experience.
Yes. And all it is a little badge. I am so grateful. I'm a magnet for miracles. Now the miracles. And miracles sometimes is tossed around a little bit there. But I can share miracle after miracle after miracle, and so can you.
Yes.
And so can you listening. I know there's many miracles that have happened in your life. Send me some of those miracles. Text them to me, because people read text messages, and your miracle could be something that's going to help someone through their journey. So please send me your miracle, and know that. Start your day and know that you are loved. But first start off by loving yourself. I had said the other day that, you want to get naked, stand in front of a mirror. Well, if you have children, close your door. Stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eye, but also look at yourself from head to toe. So bad fire I was in. So look at yourself from head to toe and make sure that you see every inch of your body from head to toe. If you can see the back, fine. But just love. And start off saying, I love my eyes, my nose. I love my lips. I love my neck. I love my breast. If it's a man, I love my chest. I love every inch of my body. I love my male organ parts. I love my legs. I love my feet. I love me. And look yourself dead in the eye and say, I love me unconditionally, just the way I am. I want everyone to have a wonderful, blessed day. And until we meet again next Wednesday, be safe and love and hug everyone. Well, not quite everyone, but at least give them a smile, okay? With your clothes on, okay? Please, okay? Have a wonderful, blessed day.
Join us every Wednesday live at 11 a.m. for NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. Remember, healthy mind, healthy body.